First of all, we would like to thank very much the British Society of Animal Science for inviting us to this session on One World, One Animal Science. We consider that this is a very pertinent issue. As we have seen in recent times, international collaboration in the field of animal science or in any other field is more necessary than ever. So today we will offer a European and global perspective on how we think this can be achieved from our respective organizations, the European Federation of Animal Science and the World Association of Animal Production. As president of the former, I will give you first the view of the European Federation of Animal Science. For those of you who do not know us, we are an organization devoted to the promotion of research, debate, and dissemination of high-quality animal science amongst the scientific community and the agri-food industry. And we also want to involve the civil society and any group which can have interest in sustainable livestock production. We are a federation of scientists and professionals from 34 different member countries that you can see listed in the slide, all of them from Europe and the Mediterranean basin. We have more than 4,000 individual members from more than 900 research and scientific institutions. In order to reach our objectives, we have a scientific structure which is run by more than 200 voluntary persons. They are organized into 11 study commissions, which are the drivers of all our scientific initiatives. Some of them are focused on specific disciplines like nutrition or physiology, and some other are devoted to the different livestock species like cattle or pigs or sheep and goat. Then we also have 14 working groups devoted either to specific regions like the Mediterranean or mountain livestock farming, or to emerging topics like ethics or lamb and kid survival. And finally, we are very proud to have a large group of young and early career scientists who work across all the scientific commissions and also set up specific sessions and activities for their own community. We provide different services to our members. Among these services, the most well-known is our annual meeting, always attended by more than 1,000 participants. We will have our meeting this year in Davos, in Switzerland, in late August, and I take this opportunity to strongly encourage you to attend it. We also organize workshops with industry on specific topics and training courses, and very recently we have also started with a very successful webinar series in which we have dealt with topics such as the COVID impact on livestock farming or the use of insects as animal feed. We are also the dissemination partner in several projects funded by the European Union. Now we are running 9 different projects and 3 more are starting during this year 2021. We are the dissemination partner here because, in fact, we have a very strong dissemination network. You can find all the updated information on our website and our social media, on our regular newsletters. And we also offer different publications. You can have our books of abstracts and several technical issues, we call them, which are devoted to specific topics. And we are especially proud of our journals. All of them are in open access. We are part of the Animal Consortium, responsible of a family of journals, among which you can find the latest cutting-edge science in animal or the proceedings of conferences, such as this one in Animal Science Proceedings. And in our new journal, Animal Open Space, we find that the key elements are shared data and methodologies. We are also partners in the journal Animal Frontiers, which is a review in which you can find international perspectives on global issues concerning animal agriculture. We publish all these journals as part of international consortia, which takes me to the core of this talk, which are our international collaborations. We have been cooperating for a long time with major international organizations in the field of animal science and production, such as the European Union or the World Organization for Animal Health, the CITA, with which we are involved in several networks concerning livestock farming and pastures in the Mediterranean. We also collaborate with the FAO, especially in the topic of the management and preservation of farm animal genetic resources, especially within the framework of the European Regional Focal Point. Also, we collaborate with the Animal Task Force, which is a platform devoted to the support of the animal sector and the animal industry in the European Union, and with the ICAR subcommittee Interrule. With all these organizations, we organize, as you can see in the slide, we collaborate in several transnational projects. We organize meetings or specific congresses or joint sessions in the different meetings we have. We also cooperate with several national partners. Among them, of course, and very importantly, our national members, either ministries or scientific associations of our member countries who participate in our General Assembly and are thus responsible for governance. And they are also, and very importantly, the local organizers of our annual meetings. And then, as I said, we are part of international publishing consortia with the British Society of Animal Science, and in RAE, we are involved in the Animal Consortium, responsible of the publications I described before. And then we also collaborate with other sister societies all over the world, mostly within under the umbrella of the World Association for Animal Production, which will be presented to you in a minute. Here we collaborate with the Latin American, the Canadian, the American Societies of Animal Science, and also with the American Dairy Science Association. With all these societies, we are partners in the publication of the magazine Animal Frontiers, and we also organize several joint sessions in our respective meetings and symposia, like the very famous symposia on the biology of lactation of farm animals. We also have a regular exchange of invited speakers, and very importantly to us, of scholarships. We like to have our young scientists involved in these collaboration activities from the start of their careers, because we give a very high value to the benefits they can obtain with this exchange. And with this, I will hand over to my colleague, Philippe Chemineau.
So, good morning, everybody. Thank you, Isabel, and thank you, everybody, for inviting us to give this talk to your BSAS conference. Probably you all know World Association for Animal Production. WAP is a World Federation of Animal Science Societies and Associations. This is mostly a federation of federations. In 2020, 18 societies and associations were active members of WAP. Around 75 countries participate directly or indirectly in the WAP to the promotion of international events or meetings concerning animal agriculture, as we will see later on. WAP generally aims to encourage closer collaborations between the animal production organizations and to bring together scientists, educators, technicians, administrators, with the objective of renewing development concerns of the 5 continents. WAP organizes every 5 years a World Conference on Animal Production together with a relevant organizing committee. The last World Conference took place in Vancouver in Canada in 2018, and the next conference will be held in Lyon, France in August 2023 in association with the annual conference of EAAP. And every year since 2018, WAP organizes a scientific session during a meeting of the members. So next slide, please, Isabel. We have 18 organizations which are spread all over the continents, as you can see here in the red spots. The list is in alphabetical order. We are present in North America and South America. We are present in Africa, in Asia, in Australia, and in Europe. And the publications of activities of the WAP are to publish a quarterly newsletter, which is using the network of the WAP members to be spread all over the world. We also have the publications of the different members. At the moment, we have 10 scientific journals, which are active via the scientific societies, which are members of WAP. We have proposed, and we are working on a special issue of animal on sustainable livestock systems for high-producing animals. This will be out in the mid of 2021. Every 2 months, we tweet on a selection of scientific articles from the 10 scientific journals of the members. And we also have a website which need to be renewed in the next future. Next slide, please, Isabel. The future, or the aim of WAP for the future is to treat global scientific problems which are concerning the whole world, like, for example, emissions of greenhouse gases, like biodiversity or like genetic resources. We aim also to share more rapidly innovative and sustainable solutions, like, for example, reduction of ruminal methane emissions by feed additives. We have a recent example of Australian groups who have identified extracts of algae, which are coming from the sea, from the coral reef barrier, which are able to reduce very strongly emissions, ruminal emissions of methane. We know also that there is a very active scientific group in the Netherlands who work on a genomic selection against methane emission. And very clearly, the scientists in charge of that say that we need to have a global organization of these genomic resources to be efficient to select these animals against methane emission. We know also that, for example, Colombia is very active in agro-silvopastoral systems, which could be shared more largely, I think, in other countries all over the world. So these are only examples, but this is the idea of that sharing this innovative solution could be very useful for every country and for the whole world of livestock, sustainable livestock production. We also aim to facilitate the insertion of abroad scientists in national or international projects. For example, EU projects. Isabel mentioned that EAAP is present in 9 projects, I think, and we will have 4 projects in development in the near future. We know this is the new project called Horizon Europe 2127, which is open to other countries and countries of the European Union, and we can welcome people from different continents in this project. And this is, as far as I know, this is the most important scientific collaborative program in the world at the moment. And there is really a big opportunity to open these programs to other countries abroad than Europe. And also, as Isabel mentioned, to facilitate exchanges among scientists, and especially young scientists, PhD scientists, and active scientists. Next slide, please. For the near future, on 2021 and 2022 activities and projects, we were very happy that our colleagues from ASAS, EAP, ADSA, CSIS, and MSA welcome WAAP last year in the Animal Frontiers Consortium, which is, as Isabel mentioned, a magazine of animal production. And we will have this year, probably next month, the first issue under the responsibility of WAP, which is on domestication. We choose a subject which is a long-term subject, which is, to my opinion, in the heart of livestock production. We have in the pipeline a second issue for next year. The subject could be camelids, which is also a species, different species which are spread all over continents. and which are of interest for developing countries, and not only developing countries, but mainly developing countries. This year and next year, of course, we will call for subject for our Lyon conference in 2023. This conference will be held in close association with EAP, with one full session of WAP for the first day, and after, during the 2 or 3 following days, this is in discussion, we will share sessions with EAP, common session on global subjects, which are of interest for EAP members, but also for different other countries. We will have to define maybe another special issue of animal for maybe not 2022, but maybe 2023. And also we will have common sessions with members, probably 2021 with ALPA, this year with ALPA. This was planned in 2020, but of course the COVID crisis have impaired that. And we have discussion with Kenyan Society for 2022. 2023 will be in Lyon, so, and maybe 2024 in Australia. So before giving the floor to Isabel again, what I would say is that we need absolutely to work together to exchange different things, and I'm sure that Isabel in her conclusion will have the opportunity to focus a little bit on that. So Isabel, I give you the floor again if you want. Thank you very much.
So we have presented what we do and how our societies value international collaborations, which are certainly the key to most of the activities we run. Therefore, it's clear that if we ask ourselves the question, why to collaborate, the obvious answer is another question, and it is how else could we achieve our goals? And not only our goals, also, as you can see here, the United Nations in their Sustainable Development Goals for their Agenda 2030 also consider that agriculture and livestock farming are very important, especially for those goals concerning zero hunger, health and well-being, responsible consumption and production, the climate action, and obviously it's essential that we establish the adequate global partnerships to attain these goals. These partnerships are necessary because we are dealing with very complex systems in terms of diversity of breeds, environments, production systems, and the societies with which they interact. And they are facing global challenges which are common to most of them, but need very specific and locally tailored solutions. In order to get to these solutions, we need to take a multidisciplinary approach involving different types of knowledge, different kinds of knowledge, and trying to find synergies between disciplines, regions, and capacities. We've recently had many examples of how some problems can only be solved with international cooperation, with a collaborative approach. We have seen how global diseases can only be tackled under a One Health approach, and the same goes for food security or greenhouse gas emission, adaptation or mitigation of climate change, the management of biodiversity of animals, plants, and the environments, and also the study of genomics, which work normally with global populations. We also think that the key issues to set the basis for these international cooperations are first to identify the potential partners in order to establish the networks, and then of course to share our resources. We need to work with open databases and publications and to facilitate the exchange and the common dissemination within the global community. Then we also think it's very important to involve the whole scientific community, from early career scientists to senior researchers, because we believe that partnerships and synergies can be established at all levels to build capacities that involve persons, infrastructures, and institutions. And then last but not least, it's very essential to overcome the barriers. funding is usually our most important concern, and it might be increasingly so in the current pandemic situation, but it's not the only one. Sometimes we can find that language or national regulations or logistical barriers can complicate the establishment of links. But it is also true that the latest communication technologies, like having a virtual conference as this one, offer a very important opportunity to overcome these barriers. And we firmly believe that these are the kind of solutions that we should explore to enhance our collaboration. Therefore, to wrap up, we can say that both from a European and a global perspective, we understand that the exchange of experience and collaboration among scientific societies is not only necessary for mutual benefit, but we believe that it's the only way forward in an increasingly globalized world. And with that, we thank you for your attention.